Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the Thai Expat Daily Show. I'm your host Kieran Mack. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and let's just jump into it. Foreign tourists set to be welcome, subject to rules from July 1st, and this is in relation to Ko Samui. Thai business media has reported that the holiday island of Ko Samui plans to open up to foreign tourists along similar lines to Phuket from July 1st. Visitors must fly in and have been vaccinated with 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine to qualify. Then they will be tested with a swab or PCR test at the airport and then go to their quarantine hotel for 3 days. After this, they can do limited travel for the next 3 days according to the Samui sealed route model. They will not come in contact with local people. Local people who come and go on the island will be subject to stringent testing to keep COVID-19 out of Samui, Koh Phangan and Koh Tao. After 7 days, foreign tourists will be allowed to go to the neighbouring islands of Koh Tao and Koh Phangan. Ratchapur Phumsawat of the Local Tourism Business Association revealed the details yesterday and also commented on the ongoing vaccination program on Samui, saying that 25% of the people have been jabbed. There are 55,000 more to go, including 20,000 people on the neighbouring islands. There is currently just one flight into Samui, he said, and Bangkok Airways are in on the July 1st plan. A test to be done at the airport, and then when the results come in the next day, the 3-day quarantine, 3-day limited travel options come in. Phuket is also planning to open to foreign tourists from July 1st. This is known as the Phuket sandbox. Ratchapur told the media that 10 3- to 5-star hotels will be offering accommodation under the Samui plan. So this is what we call nonsense and a clear lack of knowledge of what international travellers want right now. Nobody who has been vaccinated is coming to Thailand for a holiday to be quarantined. Then after their 3 days of quarantine to be told they can do feck all else on the island for another 3 days. So basically, if you come to Thailand for 7 days holidays, you'll spend most 6 of it in the hotel basically. I'm not sure what these guys think and their thinking behind their whole process, but if you look at the Europeans and what they're doing right now, it's basically a vaccine certificate or a PCR test. That's all you need. And that is the only option for places like this if they wish to survive. Coming up with these, crazy, nonsensical ideas are not going to attract tourists because nobody would put themselves through it for a holiday. So I think the likes of Samui need to take the head out of the sand and start to realize that you're in competition with many, many other destinations around the world who have all very limited requirements to entry. And that's what foreign tourists are looking for. Unemployment rises to pandemic high. Thailand's unemployment in the first quarter rose to around 760,000, or 1.96%, the highest since the pandemic started, the Office of National Economic and Social Development Council reported Monday. The unemployment rate rose again after a small recovery in the second half of 2020, reflecting prolonged COVID-19 impact, said NESDC Secretary General Danusha Pishayanan. In 2020, the proportion of jobless jumped to 1.95% in the second quarter when the full lockdown was imposed nationwide, before slipping back to 1.86% in the fourth quarter. The latest COVID-19 outbreak could result in more unemployment for small and medium-sized enterprises across the country and put pressure on around 7 million employees in the tourism sector to look for a new job, as the reopening plans will likely be delayed, Danusha warned. Addressing job opportunities for new graduates, Danusha said there may not be enough positions for them in the Thai economy, as it might grow slower than the target pace. The estimate of new graduates entering the workforce this year is at 490,000 people. Thai household debt, as of the fourth quarter of 2020, reached an all-time high at 89.3% to gross domestic product, a total of 14.02 trillion baht, while the NESDC expected it to remain high this year due to sluggish economic recovery. The labour market may be further affected, creating more liquidity problems among households, especially regarding low income. So it's not all rosy here in Thailand at the moment. Unemployment is creeping up. And when you look at unemployment and where the areas, of course, where the biggest loss is, we are definitely talking about the hospitality industry. Now, in this industry of hospitality, we're talking about hotels, restaurants, bars, massage shops, souvenir shops. We're also talking about vendors, people who sell to all these places. And then obviously international imports are all affected. So it's a very, very broad spectrum of businesses that are affected by hospitality. And this is one of the main reasons that, they're pushing forward with this Phuket reopening on July 1st. And then hopefully it will spread down to different provinces by October with a full reopening of the country by January 2022. Now, all I can hope for is that, these things do happen, that the government are taking them seriously. And at this stage, it seems to be the policy of the government, rather than try control COVID outbreak, it's to vaccinate their way out of trouble. And if it gets to the point that happens, well, maybe they will be able to open. But it'll also depend a lot on vaccinations, etc. Unfortunately, we're living in a world right now where a lot of things are very central on vaccination rollouts, and with vaccinations will come more employment for people with the reopening of the borders, and that's something certainly we have to look forward to in the next year or so. More AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine will be delivered next month. The Public Health Ministry has confirmed that more AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine will be delivered on schedule next month, after some vaccination centres reported that they had run out of AstraZeneca shots and had only the Sinovac vaccine left. Minister Anutin said on Monday that Thailand will take delivery of another lot of AstraZeneca vaccine in June, adding that if the shots made in Thailand are not ready, the company will have to find them from somewhere else to fill the order as stipulated in the contract. He said the company is well aware of Thailand's vaccine schedule, implying it is prepared to fill the order, regardless of whether the local production facility is ready. According to the government's plan, vaccination of people aged 60 and over, and those with any of 7 underlying conditions who have registered through MoreProm mobile application and health volunteers, will begin on June 7th. So, from the vaccine procurement, apparently Thailand are meant to get 6 million AstraZeneca doses in the month of June. Now, it doesn't say when in June that is, but you would have to guess that it's before June 7th, because that's when they plan the national rollout. Now, I'm not a whiz on all things vaccines, but normally the doses have to be, the batches have to be examined before they're sent out to the various centres. So, really, those vaccines need to be arriving in Thailand and into the Thai government within the next week in order to be able to be used on June 7th. So, we'll have to see. They're leaving things very late. And also this idea that AstraZeneca are going to, will have to fulfill the order regardless. They had contracts with the EU, which they ignored quite easily too. So, we'll have to see where this story leads and whether or not, things go as they say. But we'll keep an eye on the story and we'll definitely report back as it happens. Healthcare workers use dance routine to cheer up a quarantine village. Healthcare workers in the northern eastern province of Buriram have come up with a novel way to help residents in a closed-off village in Krasang district. The villagers in the Sametmu 7 community have been sealed off from the outside world as a result of a COVID-19 outbreak. On Sunday, healthcare workers therefore decided to break into a dance routine to brighten up their day. The 4 workers, dressed in full personal protective equipment, including biohazard suits, launched into their dance routine, such to the amusement of local villagers waiting for COVID-19 testing. A video of the performance has found its way to TikTok, as these things do, and is now being enjoyed all over the country. According to The Nation Thailand, the healthcare workers say they didn't expect their routine to prove to be such a hit. Tarong from Nong Teng Health Promoting Hospital, where the healthcare workers are employed, says their performance lightened the mood for the cut-off villagers. He says their enforced isolation should end in 14 days, provided no new infections are reported. It is understood that there are 429 residents across 206 households that have been affected since the village was cut off on May 16th following the discovery of 4 infections. Now I'm going to play the clip for you. Unfortunately, I can't use the music that's in this clip because I will get copyright striked on YouTube for it. So I have dubbed the music over with a different type of music, but you'll get the idea of it.
Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Fly me up with dreams, the only thing I need. When I'm down, lift me up with your company. There's no telling what you and me creating. We're on the same wavelength. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation.
Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating. We are available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.